right, guys, so you're thinking of moving to Savannah, Georgia? Well, this video is for you. Today we're going to discuss the good and the bad and get to the real deal about living in Savannah. Make sure you stick around to the very end. We are going to be discussing 3 very rarely known facts about Savannah that are going to impact your day-to-day living. If this is your first time visiting our channel, welcome. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about updates in the Savannah market. I'm Jen Parmalee with Cozy Realty Group. Every day we get calls from people just like you, so whether you're thinking about moving here in 9 days or 9 months, be sure to reach out to us. All of our contact information is in the description box below. We would love to help make your move to Savannah an easy one. First, let's talk about the bad because I like to get that over with. So number 1 complaint that we get here is the humidity. Your hair will get frizzy, your clothes are going to cling to you, especially in the summer months. So June to August is generally the worst part of it. You'll start picking out your clothes based on what shows sweat and what doesn't. A really good expert local tip is to wear layers or at least bring a cardigan if you're out and about, because what's going to happen is you're going to be running around outside and you're going to get hot and sweaty. And then you go into a store and of course they have the AC cranked up really high and all of a sudden you're wet and you're cold. So expert tip is just to bring layers or a cardigan with you. On the plus side though, if you're coming from a colder climate or a drier climate, your skin is going to like the humidity. So there is a plus side to that. The next downside of Savannah is the bugs. Savannah is like a symphony of annoyance here. It's a subtropical climate, so it's like living in a rainforest, but with beautiful architecture around you. We've got the mosquitoes are really bad, gnats, we've got the little teeny tiny no-see-ums. Make sure you don't step on a fire ant hill. Your best friends are going to end up being bug spray and screened in outdoor areas. Number 3, hurricane season. So our hurricane season is June through November, but most of the storms are going to be August through October is the majority. So we are not prone, Savannah is not as prone to getting direct hits as like Charleston or Jacksonville because of how the shape of the coast is. We're kind of protected a little bit, but we do get our fair share of tropical storms and we'll get a lot of afternoon thunderstorms during that time. A really good local tip is we do occasionally have an evacuation. Every couple of years we end up getting one, it seems. And just to be prepared, I recommend, having a go bag ready for every member of your family, pets included. I've learned that one. And also get flood insurance. If you're living in a coastal area, it's always a good idea to get flood insurance. We have seen some people, unfortunately, that, got hit or got flooded and they didn't have it because it wasn't absolutely required. So that's always a thing to be safe rather than sorry. Number 4 is pollen season. So we have a few different pollen seasons, but the tree pollen season is the one that is the most known. It's really late February to May. So if you have allergies to tree pollen, particularly hickory, maple, oak, walnut, and maple or ash, then that you would probably suffer during that time. I know my husband has allergies, so he has a rough time with that. Even if you don't have allergies though, it's this like light yellow dusting that covers everything. So you'll wash your car and, and a couple hours later, it'll be covered in pollen again. Your windows on the outside of your house or your outdoor furniture will get covered and you'll clean it. And then the next day it'll be covered again. So that can be a little bit trying. Expert tip is do not open your windows during this season. So it might be tempting because, you're doing spring cleaning and you want to kind of air at the house. And especially if you're used to doing that in other areas of the country, but you don't want to let that pollen in your house. So keep your windows closed. Don't let it cover everything. Number 5. So Sundays are a little bit different here. If you're not used to things closing down on Sundays, just don't assume that things are open. I would always call ahead of time. So the culture here, most people are going to end up going to church. The locals are going to go to church for the most part on Sundays. And so either things are closed or they're closed in the morning and they don't open until late in the afternoon. So I would just recommend that you double check before you go anywhere. And the other thing is, if you are a brunch fan like I am, and you're expecting to have a mimosa or a Bloody Mary with your brunch, you're going to be disappointed until 11 o'clock. So restaurants on Sundays are not allowed to serve alcohol until 11. So if you have an early brunch, you're going to have to wait till then. And retail stores aren't allowed to sell it till 12:30. That I don't run into too many issues with, but it's just good to know, because if you're not used to it, you wouldn't know if you're not a local. All right, now what are the good things? So number one is mild climate. You're not going to be shoveling snow or scraping ice off your windshield. Get rid of your snow tires. Get rid of your, second wardrobe full of winter clothes. The winters here are mostly in the 40s is the lowest during the days, 40s to 60s. And very rarely do we get it temperatures that fall below freezing. So usually I can count on my hand the amount of frost warnings we get, and usually that just means bring your plants in off of your front porch so they don't get frost. You will probably see some added health benefits if you move here from a colder climate, especially if you have like really tight muscles or achy joints. Second big plus to living here is the historic district. Downtown Savannah is like living in a history book. You can stroll down the cobblestone streets. You've got these huge antebellum mansions on the side. You've got the giant live oaks that have been there for hundreds of years, the historic squares, and even some times of the year, not all the time, but you'll be able to hear the clip-clop of horses' hooves downtown when you have the horse-drawn carriages go by. So it's a perfect place to just kind of like slow down and unwind. It's a very low-key city. Don't think that means that there's not anything going on though, because the next thing, the third positive, is festivals and events. There's always something going on. In Savannah, they have food festivals, music festivals, there's art shows that go on, and we have historical reenactments. There's always something going on, and a lot of times they don't cost anything. A lot of events are in Forsyth Park and they're free, so that's kind of a fun thing to do. And you're never going to be bored. I promise you, you'll never be bored. So fourth thing, if you're not used to strangers talking to you in public, you better get used to it. So everybody here is really friendly. Locals are super friendly. They will make eye contact with you. They will say hello and start chit-chatting with you. And you're pretty likely to be addressed as Miss, Ma'am, Sir. Even in like text messages, they all will start out with good morning or good afternoon. So if that's something that you're not used to, you want to make sure you're not coming off rude and, act like that in kind. All right. Number 5 is the food scene here. So if you are a foodie, you will love Savannah. So from Southern classics, like you've got your shrimp and grits, to little like hole in the wall, amazing barbecue places, and fresh seafood. They have something for everybody here. So if you love food, there's so many places. I haven't even been able to get to all of the ones on my list since I've moved to Savannah, and I've been here about 10 years now. So there's always something fun to try. All right, so what are our rarely known facts about Savannah? The first one is you can take your cocktails to go. Savannah, in the historic district only, has an open container law. So you can go to your favorite bar, you can go to a restaurant, grab beer, wine, cocktail, and you can get it to-go cup. And you can stroll around River Street or the historic district and just walk around. Number 2 is limited public transportation. So some of the other bigger cities, they have really great public transportation. Savannah does have a public bus system, but it's just the public transport is nowhere near as extensive as what some people might be used to. So just when you're choosing what neighborhood you want to be in, that might be something to think about. And you're most likely going to need your car as your main
point of transportation.
And the last really fun thing about Savannah is we have coordinated traffic lights.
So sometimes it feels like there's this like wizard controlling the lights so that you just hit every single light green and you're not even stopping. You get all the way through town and you haven't even stopped for a red light. That is one of my favorite things about Savannah. Now, don't think that you're never going to get stuck in traffic, because especially for a rush hour, traffic can get a little congested, but I do appreciate the coordination, and it's fun when that happens. So is Savannah the right place for you? So if you're looking for a city that's southern city, laid back, charming, has great food, great architecture, is really beautiful, then this might be what you're looking for. You just are going to have to deal with the humidity and the bugs. As always, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel and tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to hear about updates on the Savannah market. Make sure, if you're thinking about moving here, don't hesitate to reach out to us to be your local experts and guides. All of our information is in the description box below, and we look forward to seeing you around town.